Golos Tireless Pilgrim versus Circu Dimir Lobotomist, Hazezon Tamar, and Meren of Toth. Hardly any lands there, so if we had one more land, that would actually be really good. We're on the... Oh, we actually draw on our first turn, don't we? Ugh. What to do there? Yeah, we'll get our free mulligan going. That's way slower than our last hand, but there was no guarantee that we were going to get into a land there, even with 2 draws to get into one, so yeah, I feel alright about going for this. It's a slower hand, so people might not pay much attention to us in the early game at least. Having a Glacial Chasm with an Urborg is good as well. It means the Glacial Chasm, while it's in play, will actually tap for some mana. Alright, noteworthy before the start of the game that Meren has had to mulligan down to 5, and we can get the game going. Draw into a nice big spell, which we really didn't want to see. Alright, just a land to start things off from everybody. What do we want? We've got all the black mana we could need, so let's just tap out and we'll go for green and what? This is the problem in the early game. We don't know what colours we're going to need and what colours we're going to draw into. We're pretty equal across everything. Let's just go for green and white arbitrarily. That can be Temple Garden. The first spell of the game is coming from the Hazezon. Is that how you say it? Yeah, I'm going with Hazezon player. That is a Farseek, so they'll be able to get their Naya colours on the go now. Meren just played a land and passed immediately. Demonic Tutor from the Dimir player. Okay, well, Mirari's Wake's very good. But we're not getting into any of this anytime soon. Let's just drop a Plains here. And again, we'll just tap out and pass. Don't know what we're going for here. We can get into our 5 colours though, thanks to Prismatic Vista and Urborg. Hornet Nest for Meren. Yeah, the earlier you get that down, the better. When it's dealt damage, create that many 1/1 insect tokens with Flying and Death Touch. Hopefully the Naya player doesn't go for a Blasphemous Act while that's in play. Cracking a Crowson Verge, and that will get them into a Plains or a Forest. So it doesn't seem as though anyone is struggling on lands or colours, which is good. And getting into a Sol Ring, straight into Burnished Heart and Tortured Existence. Discard a creature card and return a creature from graveyard to hand. No doubt Sol Ring is what they tutored for with the Demonic Tutor. We couldn't have gotten into 3 visits earlier than that, could we? That's annoying. Could have gone in for Mirari's Wake this turn. I think we go for Smothering Tide over the 3 visits. Let's go for Prismatic Vista and get ourselves into a green source. Then play the Smothering Tithe. I think it's early enough in the game where people are still going to allow us to have tokens. Certainly Meren isn't going to tap out for Smothering Tithe. Then the first commander of the game, Meren of Toth, enters play. Oh, and a fray Elise, that's going to make quick work of our Smothering Tithe, I think. Smothering Tithe will net us more mana over the course of the game. It might be that the Dimir player is being underestimated just because it's a commander that's not very popular. But that deals with our Smothering Tithe. It was still 4 mana for an extra 2 mana. So, are we anywhere close to Zendikar Resurgent, actually? That's 2, 4, 6, and 7. We can still go for that next turn if we want to. And surprisingly, Burnished Heart not swinging in at the fray Elise. Why on earth wouldn't you get rid of that when you have the chance? Hopefully Meren will swing in that way. Let's drop the Urborg and we'll go for the Zendikar Resurgent. Consecrated Sphinx is a hell of a draw as well. That lands quite quickly, so I'm going to assume the Dimir player has no counters. And if they did have counters, I assume that the Zendikar Resurgent would be countered. I think because Golos is in everyone's mind in recent months, I think all eyes are going to be on us. You should never ever underestimate a Meren player though. Meren is a very, very powerful commander. But we haven't seen anything too threatening from her yet. No sack outlets or entombs or anything like that. Now you're swinging in at fray, surely. Yep. That's exactly what our opponent should do. Fray goes down, and then the acidic slime enters. No doubt, going after our Zendikar Resurgent. I was aiming to go for the Maelstrom Wanderer, but apparently we should be going much more slowly than we are. I think I might just go for 3 visits next turn. Can we go 3 visits? If we drop a land next turn, we can go 3 visits into Mirari's Wake. And then we'll still have a mana doubler in play. Problem is with Meren, they can get Acidic Slime back out of the bin. They'll need a sack outlet first though, or for someone to wipe the board. Fabled Passage for the Naya player. Yeah, I think we're going to slow right down here and maybe have some of this removal pointed elsewhere. And probably going for their commander here. Nope, going for a Sun Titan. They can just grab a land here pretty much. Sun Titan is a really good mono-white ramp card. They grab themselves the Croson Verge, and then at the end of the turn it looks like the Burnished Heart is being sacrificed. It certainly is. See what colours they go for. Maybe a couple of blue mana. They get a blue and a black mana from the Burnished Heart. And then going for Limdul's Vault as well, so doing plenty on everyone else's turn. Let's see how much life they lose to this Limdul's Vault. This is basically look at the top 5 cards of your library, and as many times as you choose, you can put them on the bottom and pay 1 life, and look at a fresh 5 on top. When you've decided on the ones that you want to keep on top, then you can reorganise those 5 and put them on top in any order. And they're at a nice round 40, so we'll be able to see how much life they paid into that. Okay, they actually like the top 5, so decided to just reorganise the top 5 they've already got and get on with their turn. Drop a land immediately. And the second commander of the game comes down. Circu, Dimir, Lobotomist. And then a No Mercy. Yeah, that's something to point removal at. And then Circu's ability is whenever you cast a black spell, exile the top card of a target player's library. I don't know who they pointed that at. They targeted the Meren player with that. And got rid of a Doubling Season. That's a hell of a one to get rid of. Don't use Doubling Season in Meren myself. So there must be lots of token producers, ETB effects, and things like Hornet Nest in the deck. Okay, how about we just ramp this turn? We could go for Golos. No, let's get down Sakura Tribe Elder and the 3 visits. And we'll try and look like slightly less of a threat than we have been. Not going to play the Glacial Chasm because we've no need for it currently. And we have to sacrifice a land when it enters as well. So let's just get a black and red here, can we? Oh no, we can't. It has to be a forest, so let's just get the Stomping Ground. And we can get a black source with the Sakura Tribe Elder. Or we could get a blue source. Yeah, I like to have at least 2 of each colour in case someone can screw us on colours with a Wasteland or a Strip Mine. Or an Acidic Slime. Well, the Acidic Slime was going to swing in at the Dimir player, but then they've pulled it back. And instead decided to go for the Hazezon player. Then pulling back. And then deciding on the Naya player again. I think they want to leave the Acidic Slime back for blocking, but maybe they're after a board wipe here. Then going in with Meren, deciding to pull everything back. And then deciding finally to go back in at the Dimir player. And the Dimir player takes it, as you would expect. That will kill off the Acidic Slime. That might have been the plan of Meren, because this will put the Acidic Slime back into their hand at the end of the turn. It also puts an experience counter on the Meren player. So making use of the No Mercy there, because they don't have a sack outlet currently. Then a Deathspore Thallid. Sacrifice a Saproling to get some -1/-1 going. So this isn't your typical Meren deck. This is obviously a more fun build. I would think that Acidic Slime would be going on to the No Mercy, but Meren may want to make use of the No Mercy in the way that they just did, so we'll have to see what occurs next turn for them. Harmonise for Hazezon. Draw 3 cards. They are now up to 8 in hand. Then they play a land, so back down to 7. Then deciding to crack the Croson Verge. Now let's see where they swing in with this Sun Titan. It has Vigilance, so they might as well swing in at least one of us. Deciding to swing in at us. What are they going to bring back? A land of some kind. Going for the Flooded Strand. And exactly the reason that I haven't sacrificed Sakura Tribe Elder before now. We can block the Sun Titan, and then in response to blocks, sacrifice the Sakura Tribe Elder, and we will go for a blue source. Just in case we want to get into a Consecrated Sphinx next turn. We could actually go for Maelstrom Wanderer if we wanted to. But no damage dealt by the Sun Titan. And then cracking the fetch and going for Eladamari's Call. Search for a creature, that goes straight into the hand. And they went for Omnath, Locus of Rage. That's going to be a fun one to play against. Yeah, they're not having any trouble getting into their lands whatsoever. And especially with the Sun Titan in play, they can get fetches out of the bin. And yeah, with a fetch in the graveyard, that will trigger landfall twice. Once upon entry and once upon fetching a land. Which means 2 5/5 elementals to deal with. A Diabolic Tutor from Circu. Followed by Ashiok, Dream Render. I'm sure Meren loves to see that. We don't really care about losing our graveyard. I think we've got a little bit of graveyard interaction. Oh, actually, there we are. Eternal Witness. I don't know what that was sacrificed with. It must have been exiled, sorry, with the Ashiok. Oh, followed by a Dark Deal. That gets rid of some really good cards from us. That's not good. Let me just try and catch up with everything that's happened here. So, before the Dark Deal. Okay, Ashiok came down. That triggered Circu, exiled the top card of the Naya player's library, and then targeted us with another triggered ability from Circu. Exile the top card of a player's library, exile the top card of a player's library. Yeah, so they're both the same abilities, so we've each gotten something exiled there. And then I think the Ashiok is now minusing down. Yeah, and exiling all the graveyards. This thing is not in play, it's been exiled, so I don't know why it's there. Our opponent got rid of some really good cards from us there. How about a board wipe and Jace the Mind Sculptor? I mean, that's got to be good, hasn't it? Although we don't have enough blue, so we can't do that. Can we go for Golos? And Supreme Verdict is 4, and then a Golos. Yeah, I think we can do that, so let's go. We'll go Supreme Verdict. Could have waited on that, because Omnath's probably coming down soon, but actually, yeah, I got tunnel vision there. I should have waited on that, because I was thinking of getting out Jace the Mind Sculptor and... Well, anyway, we'll go for Golos here. Probably should have waited on that Wrath, now that I think about it. Sometimes I rush through my turns because people start to whine and complain about you. Why did that not trigger? Oh, you can't search your library because of Ashiok. Alright, fair enough. So, yeah, definitely should have played that out much differently. But at least we've got Golos' ability to go for next turn. And maybe we can go for Jace next turn as well and bounce the Omnath. There'll still be some tokens in play, but yeah, really messed things up that last turn. I thought about casting Jace and we'd need to go for a board wipe before we go for Jace. And then I just had the board wipe stuck in my head, so I thought, oh, we'll have to wipe the board before we go for Golos. And yeah, definitely should have waited on that because we know Omnath's coming down. But we'll just have to see how it all pans out. Meren has nothing to grab, thanks to the graveyard being exiled. Oh no, the Hornet Nest is in the graveyard, and our opponent has 3 experience counters, so Hornet Nest comes straight back out. Yeah, Supreme Verdict was after the mass exile, wasn't it? So, forgot about that. Still 7 cards in the Naya player's hand. Oh, how annoying. They decide to scoop the game. Yeah, that was... Oh no, that wasn't in their hand, was it? Because of the wheel. God, I am making mistakes all over the place here. It's getting pretty late. And clearly my brain's not firing on all cylinders. No, they don't have Omnath because of that wheel from the Dark Deal. So clearly they don't like what they drew into and have just decided to scoop instead of playing it out. Now it is Ensnaring Bridge. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack, and they have 0 cards in hand. So we can't attack into their Ashiok now. Then Ashiok going for the minus again. What's been exiled here? Oh, they didn't target us. They targeted the Meren player. Got rid of Buried Alive. Forgotten Ancient. Fray Elise. Disciple of Bolas. And then we knew about everything else, I think. Oh, they've got Big Game Hunter there as well. Thalid Germinator. Anyway, right, so let's go for Golos. And we'll just keep our fingers crossed, see what we can grab. Okay, we've got Woodfall Primus, that'll do. We've got a land and Raminap Excavator. Ensnaring Bridge. Do I want to get rid of Ensnaring Bridge or the No Mercy? Or the Ashiok? Ensnaring Bridge, I think. Yeah. So let's go Woodfall Primus. Blow up the Ensnaring Bridge so we can actually start swinging him. Then this is until end of turn, isn't it? Yeah, it's this turn, so let's swing in at Ashiok. And they decide to lose their commander. Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't actually really mind what Ashiok's doing, but it is good to get rid of. Especially if we want to start using Raminap. So we get that down tapped. Might as well play the Raminap. And that is us done for the turn. Just have to hope we keep our Golos in play. Would be good to get rid of Ashiok because it keeps you from searching libraries, and if someone does get rid of our Golos, then we're not going to be able to tutor for something. So it's not imperative that we get Ashiok out of play, but it would be nice. I have a feeling Meren's going to go in at Ashiok anyway. If anyone wants that Planeswalker out of play, it's Meren. 1 card left in hand, have gone for Nissa Vastwood Seer, a favourite of the channel. And a Poison Tip Archer as well, so yeah, no wonder they want to make lots of tokens in this deck. And now surely, swinging in at the Planeswalker. And shockingly, not swinging in at the Planeswalker. Why on earth would you not swing in there? Meren, come on. No, I mean, I made a big goof with the Supreme Verdict before. Although, maybe it wasn't a goof because I forgot all about Omnath not being in our opponent's hand, and that whole thing was just a colossal screw-up, but yeah, not swinging in at the Planeswalker seems strange there. Maybe they don't realise what No Mercy does. Now, 1 card in the Dimir player's hand. Targeting us with the Ashiok. They get rid of a Beast Within, a Signet, and some lands. I don't know how many more fetches we've got available to us, actually. Well, there's 3 in exile currently, so not many. And then a Kedirect Leviathan. When it enters, return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. And as far as I can tell, they can't get down their Planeswalker here. Which means we can tutor with Golos. Is it 2 colours to get down Ashiok? I can't remember. Well, they've gone for Sol Ring anyway. Okay, and just getting down Tortured Existence, so they've got nothing to do with that Sol Ring apparently. Now then, Azusa. That's quite good, isn't it? Let's drop the Azusa, and then we'll get down our Golos. And we will actually be able to search for something this time. Forgot about the search ability last time we played Golos. And Ashiok was in play. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fetches left in the library. Oh, 5 with Polluted Delta. Yeah. Oh, 6. Yeah, well, we've got a few fetches left anyway. Let's go Field of the Dead. Because we've got some lands to make this turn. And with each land drop, we're going to get into some more zombies. Cataract, yeah, that's unearth. It does not have any evasion. So let's shock down the Overgrown Tomb because we're going to go for Jace. Now, do we unsummon with Jace is the question. I don't think I really mind this thing bouncing everything at all. Not if we're going to keep going for Golos and Azusa. I don't think I mind that one bit, to be honest. Let's go for the Brainstorm here. We might get into another land to play. Oh, Avacyn's good. We'll put the Farseek and the Avacyn on top. Just to protect it from any wheels or anything like that. We want to be able to draw into Avacyn. Some indestructible free zombies sounds good. Meren coming out yet again. And what's in the graveyard for Meren? Nothing, because everything must have been exiled with Ashiok recently. Although the Hornet Nest is in hand, is it? Well, Nissa's in hand. Yeah, I think the Hornet Nest is in hand, thanks to the Cataract. Getting another forest out of the library. They're certainly making use of our Urborg. But they play a swamp anyway, so they're revealing some of what's in their hand there. We know that at least one of the cards is a forest. We know the other one is a Hornet Nest, I think. So there's only one secret card in hand. Now two, thanks to Nissa's Plus. And now going for a Vitaspore Tharlid. Yeah, I like the idea of these fungus cards and saprolings and all that, but it's just a really, really slow means of playing the game, really. You need to get... you really need a doubling season in play, and even then it's slow. Yeah, they really need to do something with these fungus cards to push them a bit further. Because any format that they can be played in is way too fast for these things to be relevant. And another commander coming down again. No removal, thankfully, although removing Golos isn't the worst thing you can do to us. We're happy to play it again. Ashiok isn't coming down once more, which is not the worst. We knew what we were drawing into with the Avacyn. Let's Brainstorm again with Jace. Okay, getting to some more mana and an Austere Command. Do we care about Austere Command? We'll put the Signet on top and the Ramunap on top. If we get into a fetch, Ramunap is actually really good. I'm actually going to get rid of the Sol Ring here. We'll shuffle up with the Farseek. We'll just get his Scrubland. We've got some white cards in hand and I want more black in play as well. Again, triggering Field of the Dead. And like I said, I don't particularly care about things being indestructible here, so let's just trigger the Golos again. See if we can get anything decent. And don't forget, we've shuffled our library here, so should have some new things on top. Alright, Vamp Tutor. And then draw whatever we tutor for with Brainstorm. Okay, let's see what's on top first with Oracle. Okay, well, there's a land, so we'll play the land. And there is a Snap Mage on top that we're not going to make use of. We could draw into that and then Snapcaster on the Vamp Tutor. Yeah, well, we have to go for the Vampiric Tutor by the end of the turn anyway, so let's do that. Let's just go for a Vorinclex here. We'll draw into it with Brainstorm. I don't think we can play it this turn, but we'll make use of it next turn at least. Hopefully. In fact, we could put it back on top to protect from wheels again. If we put it back on top, put very specific things back on top, we could go for Golos. Okay, well, the Dimir player decided to scoop. So we go... Yeah, we'll protect Avacyn by putting that on top. And Vorinclex... No, we want to do that the other way around. We go Vorinclex, second from the top. Avacyn draw into next turn. Then when we activate Golos, we can... Yeah, get a Vorinclex down for free. We have activated Jace this turn. Let's go Swords to Plowshares on Meren. And then we'll get down the Ramunap. Don't have any lands to play in the graveyard, so we'll just get rid of Nissa here. That can go in at our opponent. We just have to send 3 in at Nissa, because they can only block 1, and then might as well attack him with Azusa as well. Our opponent's at 43 life, and they're not going to be having their graveyard exiled anymore, thanks to the Dimir player scooping. They decided not to block with the Thalid, so they've got 3 points of commander damage and 39 life. We've got a Jace the Mind Sculptor for unsummon in play, so if we were ever worried about any of these things, we can just wait a few turns and then unsummon something. Really not worried about the Thalid creatures. Don't know how much our opponent's commander costs now, actually. Apparently it's too much to cast with Meren being put into the command zone too many times, but our opponent decides to scoop there as well, which is fair enough. I think we've got too much for them to deal with. Was going to go for a brainstorm on Jace. We would have drawn 3 cards. And then the good thing about having Jace the Mind Sculptor with Golos is you put things back on top ready for Golos' activation. So we would have put Avacyn and Vorinclex on top. Activated Golos, got those out for free, plus something else, which would have been a tiger. Play the tiger and reveal something else off the top. Another land, which we could have played, so we would have played our second land, third land, and then there's a Felwar Stone on top. So probably could have gone for an activation on Golos again. So we reveal the top 3. And yeah, Modo's not going to allow it, but you get the idea. We want to get a load of stuff for not quite free, but much cheaper than it would be. I mean, what's that? Avacyn and Vorinclex is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16 mana. And we were only paying 7 mana for it. Plus it's clearing cards off the top of our library, and we're not using anything that's in our hand. So yeah, you get the basic gist. Made a bit of an error with the Supreme Verdict because I got tunnel vision, but it worked out alright anyway because it ended up clearing the board for a Jace the Mind Sculptor to come out, which people had a lot of difficulty getting rid of apparently. Also didn't get to tutor with the Golos thanks to me forgetting what Ashiok's static ability is, but managed to pull it out in the end anyway, so apologies for the misplays, but it does happen when you have to play a lot and play lots of varied decks and you don't quite remember what every single card in play does. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed it nonetheless. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.